Welcome to the Telling the Tale podcast. It's the podcast where we go through every single Telltale game. We already kind of did that, but we're still keeping it going. I'm your host, Mitchell Farley-Wolf, and as always, I'm joined by the beautiful and brilliant Dustin Cornelius Jackson. Dustin, how are you doing?
Well, a lot better now that you said all that nice stuff about me.
I said 2 words, and I say it every episode, Dustin. Check the tape. I say it every episode. Every time.
What else do you like about me?
Oh, it ends there. But
cool. I'll take it.
But Dustin, what are we talking about today?
That's a great question, Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell me?
I'd love to hear it from you.
It's a surprise of some sort. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what any of this is.
So, Dustin, I did not tell you what game we're going to be talking about today because I didn't want you to think that you had to play it.
Okay, cool.
Let's just cards on the table. It was difficult to get back into the swing of things doing this podcast. We don't like paying for games that we weren't going to play otherwise. We don't like spending that much time doing the homework for the podcast. We end up liking a lot of the games, but you know, it's a difficult thing to convince ourselves to put the work into a show like this.
Even if it's a game I'm excited for, a lot of the time I'll still put it off until like the last minute.
Yeah, not a comment on the quality of the games, just a comment on the idea of doing any work at all.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't want to do anything.
So, Dustin, here's where I'm coming from. Did we play every Telltale game?
Maybe. I think so.
I would say so. We played every game developed by the company Telltale, including The Expanse, which is by a company using the name Telltale, and including many other games that Telltale published or were developed by people after Telltale fell that were from Telltale in the Telltale style. I think within any reasonable criteria, we've played every Telltale game.
I think so.
But here's the question.
Okay.
Did we play all of every Telltale game?
That makes me think no, otherwise you wouldn't have asked.
Well, I think there's an argument that we missed one.
Oh.
And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Dustin, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the CSI games?
Well, if you listen to last week's episode, you'd think that I loved them.
You would actually.
But I don't.
You really seem like a huge fan of them. Yeah.
I think just in retrospect, I like them more than some others.
Sure. That's fair. So, Dustin, I think you know that there are many other CSI games besides the ones that Telltale made.
Yeah. Yup.
In fact, 3 Dimensions of Murder has the number 3 in it as the title rather than the word 3 spelled out because it was the 3rd console one already. And that's just the first Telltale one. But we're not responsible for playing every CSI game that exists. That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild. Ludicrous.
It would be wild because there's so many that are based on like the other connected CSI shows like CSI New York or Miami or whatever. Those are different. Those have their own video games too. The 2 that came previous to the Telltale era are different people altogether. Why should we be looking at that? There was like a few that came after the Telltale era. Some of them were
CSI
only on
didn't
Facebook.
Stop with us.
It did not stop, or even continue with us. We looked at the 4 that were developed by Telltale because they were developed by Telltale. And that is it. Do you remember the names of those 4 games?
3 Dimensions of Murder.
Did that one for you, yep.
Is Deadly Intent, is that it?
Deadly Intent is number 3 of the 4 of them.
We just talked about them last week.
Hard Evidence is number 2. I'll remove you from your torture here.
Oh, thank you.
And the 4th of the 4 Telltale CSI games is Fatal Conspiracy.
Right, that's right. Was that one boring? I remember that one being boring. I think that one just settled into being like, eh.
I think they're all a little, but
right. But
Hard
that one
Evidence
especially
is the one that we picked up and said, like, this is the fun one, and that was the second of the 4 of them.
Yeah.
And it was only like, looking back, we really liked Marty Party and stuff. We liked the geodesic dome they lived in. It had some fun things, but I don't know if it was like wildly more interesting than the other 3.
No, that doesn't make it like a way better game or anything.
It makes it the best of the 4 of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, while there were other console CSI games, there were also other handheld CSI games. The first of them was CSI Dark Motives. Now, Dark Motives was the second console CSI game. So that's the one immediately previous to Telltale's time with the series.
Right.
And that DS game is a remake of all the cases in that console game. So it's just another... It plays very differently because it has to, because it's the DS.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a port of a game that Telltale didn't make. We don't need to pay attention to it. There was,
awesome.
However, if you might see where this is going.
Oh, I'm putting the pieces together. It's like I'm on the CSI crew.
The second DS CSI game is called CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases.
Oh my goodness gracious, the hidden cases.
Now, are any of the cases in this game related to the Telltale game CSI Deadly Intent? No. But
it's just new stuff.
It's entirely new cases. That said, it's called The Hidden Cases, and the implication of that is that the third of the 4 Telltale CSI game has these hidden cases we didn't play?
Huh.
Could we really end the podcast without talking about that?
I guess we can't, no.
Well, Dustin, what I'm going to tell you about today is my time playing CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases for the Nintendo DS.
You really played CSI Deadly Intent for the Nintendo DS.
I really did that.
Wow.
And the reason I had to keep it secret from you is because I didn't think I could convince you to play it. It had to be a me-only thing. And you've done a couple of these. Like, you played the Sam & Max, this time it's virtual, and I wasn't able to play it. So you told me about that. I'm making it up to you here. I played
Mitchell,
CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases, so you didn't have to.
That means so much to me. Thank you for making me not do this.
Yeah, so just to set the scene a little bit, there's also a third CSI DS game. This is the second of the 3 of them. The third
is that
one
one
is
also
called...
developed by Telltale?
Well, even this one wasn't developed by Telltale.
Oh, okay.
Telltale
Gotcha.
never made a DS game.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about.
Right, but this was absolutely supposed to be a companion game with like the other missing cases to a Telltale game, and that's why if we're about to hang up the podcast, I want to do it so we don't have any lingering regrets.
Okay.
But
see, normally I would feel bad about it because I would have liked to have played every Telltale game, but if it's not Telltale, then I don't feel as
it's
bad
not
about
made by Telltale. It's a game. Yeah. This was very common back in the day for another studio to step in and say like, oh, there's a premium console or PC game that's being made and people have attention on it. It's really cheap to make Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance or DS games.
Right.
So let's just hire a very small team that knows this console backward and forward to do something really short, really small scale, and very quickly to come out alongside it. So the third CSI DS game was also a supplemental game to the fourth of the 4 Telltale games, but that one is called CSI Unsolved, and they're not trying to make an argument that it's linked to Fatal Conspiracy in the same way that
Right.
Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases is sort of tacitly making the argument that it's linked to the game that we played, CSI Deadly Intent.
Right. So no obligations.
No obligations and about either the first or the third DS CSI game, but this middle CSI game seems to really be pushing the agenda that it is related to a Telltale game.
He came in and said, "Not so fast. You have some unfinished business."
The title, much like the game Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, makes the incorrect argument that the levels of this game are related to the levels of another game, and it is not true. Anytime a game has ever been called The Lost Levels, it's never been true. It's something that games like to say, and it's not real.
Oh, well, actually, hold on. Actually,
Oh,
there is one case where it is true.
huh.
And it's something that actually came up recently. Have you heard of the Garfield game for Sega Genesis, Garfield Caught in the Act?
Oh, I have, and this is the one that had levels exclusive to the Sega channel, right?
Yeah, and it was called The Lost Levels, and it is true because they were
Okay.
levels meant for the original game that got cut out.
Good call. I was trying to have fun with it, but Dustin, you brought in facts, and those are more valuable than jokes. So
I guess I was a
appreciate it.
little more prepared than you thought.
So, like you brought up earlier, it was a good thing to think about. This game was not developed by Telltale, and that's how it slipped through the cracks of our podcast, because we have no business talking about it. But we're definitely in the bonus stage section of our podcast, so here we go. It was developed by Other Ocean. Are you familiar with Other Ocean?
I've heard the name before.
So Other Ocean is a company up in the Bay Area in California, and they're a sibling company through
It looks like they're still around.
Oh, they're definitely still around. Yeah,
Nice.
They're a sibling company to Digital Eclipse, which might be more familiar, less familiar, depending on what you're interested in.
Sure. I know Digital Eclipse.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they're currently related, but they were at one point at least part of the same, like two different subsidiaries of the same company. Now, Other
they
Ocean,
did IDARB?
yeah, Other Ocean is responsible for Dark Void Zero on the DSi, which was like, in my opinion, maybe the best DSi exclusive.
Interesting.
Hashtag IDARB, which is not a game a lot of people know about, but us two people definitely know about.
Yeah, we know it.
They do a lot of ports.
Whoa.
Like they're responsible for the 3DS version of Minecraft specifically.
They did the Medieval remake.
Totally. They did the Medieval remake.
That's cool.
This is a studio that until recently, when this is no longer part of the video game industry, they are fast, they are lean, and they know Nintendo handhelds really well for an American studio.
Wow.
This is like their exact niche, where Telltale develops a game published by Ubisoft based on an American television show, and there's like a whiff that maybe it might be financially successful. Other Ocean steps in, is like, do you want a DS version of it? And because these guys are... I happen to know a few people that work at this company. I've spoke with Mike Micah a few times, who's the creative director of a lot of their works. And he was the director of this game. I didn't even know that.
Oh, wow.
He's really passionate about games. Like, this is the whole studio's MO. They're scrappy. They're not going to make the game that like lights the industry on fire, but they are absolutely going to make the game that needs to exist in a certain pocket of the industry at a given time.
Right.
Yeah, and then the Digital Eclipse side of that company, they're responsible for things like the Mega Man Legacy collections,
the TMNT one,
the TMNT game, the collection, the Gold Master series is a recent thing that is really cool, where they will go through a game sort of in a Criterion collection style of thing, and they'll include a bunch of documentary bonus features talking about the development of the game.
Right.
They did that for Tetris. It was really cool. Tetris Forever was them.
They do great collections.
They do. The Atari 50 was them.
Oh yeah. That's
so
awesome.
Deep in these two companies' history, there is the DS game CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases. And I thought, just because, wow, it's Other Ocean, I know of their work relatively well, and wow, it's related to a Telltale game that we did play and was part of our like required list going through the podcast. And it's got 4 new cases that we didn't cover, we didn't talk about on the show. We gotta do it.
I'm down for it. You know what, Mitchell? I'm glad you played it and and I didn't have to, but I probably would have. I think that it's enough of a curiosity that I would have given it a try. And let me ask this: is it that big of a time sink?
No. In fact, if you want to play it, it's less than 4 hours.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Well, because I probably won't know now that I don't have to, but I probably would have.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. How often do you break out your DS?
Not super often, but every now and then. There was a point where I was turning my 3DS into like an emulation system, like just putting whatever I could on there. And then I got a Steam Deck, and that pretty much killed any use I get out of my 3DS. But that's still probably what I would go back to for playing DS and 3DS games. Like, yeah, that's still the better place than a Steam Deck.
Play a DS game on anything other than something very close to the original form factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Nintendo 64 controller in that way, where it's just things were built for that shape and not other shapes. So CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases, it immediately sucker punched me with one of the weirdest things I've ever seen a video game do.
Oh, really?
Immediately, right away. So, because I didn't know what to expect, I was thinking maybe there would be like highly pixelated photographs of the actors,
right?
Because that kind of felt like what they were leaning on. They had Lawrence Fishburne and all of these famous actors in CSI, and the Telltale games that we played traded on those characters. We were supposed to know and recognize and respect characters like Jim Brass and the mortician Doc Robbins.
You look so disgusting in those games.
Well, Robbins in particular, every time we played 3 of the 4 of those games on Wii, and every time we saw him, he got like a little poopier.
Yes. How does that happen?
I don't know. It just his white coat just got more dirty every game.
He never watches it.
He never watched it between video games.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah, they were annual games for a little bit. It's a year, Doc Robbins, between the time I've seen you.
I got lots of morgue work to do. I don't got the time.
Yeah, his patients aren't even alive. There's no rush.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Launder your vest. Anyway, the crazy thing is when you start a file in this game, it asks you, what's the name for the save file? And I always name my video game character as Wolf because it is my last name. And
right.
I just do that. And then it says, okay, what's the last name of your character for this save file? And that was weird. I've never seen a video game want both names before.
What's your blood type? What's your address?
Yeah. Well, at first I thought like, yeah, I guess I'm glad I know this DS game is not going to be communicating with the internet because this seems a little invasive. But yeah, I will name my character Mitchell Wolf. And I'm so glad that I did, because throughout the game, it would say like, it would have a dialogue box and it would say, Jim Brass says this. And it would be like, hey, how are you doing with the case? And then Mitchell Wolf replies, hey, Jim, it's okay.
Hey, Jim.
And I felt so... I don't know if anyone has ever had this with the character Jim Brass before, but I felt like I was immersed and I was talking to an old buddy all of a sudden.
Yeah, I remember you.
I remember you, CSI Jim Brass. I'm
Yeah,
CSI
you were
Mitchell
cracking
Wolf.
jokes.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So it's very difficult for me to describe the visual style of this game, Dustin.
Okay.
But maybe Elite Beat Agents is kind of a close reference.
That would not have been the thing I would have guessed.
I know, right? It's a it's a surprising take, but there's no like I said, my guess was it was going to be like photography and they would layer low res pictures on top of maybe lightly illustrated backgrounds. That feels like what they would do for a TV show tie-in DS game. Not the case.
Right.
It's all hand-drawn art. And it's a little surreal because hand-drawn art on the DS, you're just so used to it being anime because it's mostly Japanese games that you'd see that.
Right.
This is full Western style illustration, but no game has ever quite looked like this before, and no game will again.
They broke new ground.
They broke a kind of ground. Yeah.
Speaking of ground, I'm looking at a screenshot of it, and there's a skeleton in the ground.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm glad you're looking up screenshots and stuff as we're going through this, because I think the listener at home, if you're hearing this episode, you should do that too. Go look up this game, CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases, and just look at what it looks like. And then keep in mind that this game only has 4 cases in it, as opposed to the main games, which had 5. And each case is under an hour, as opposed to the main games, which had cases that could go over 2, maybe sometimes 3 hours, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if you weren't good at them, which we sometimes weren't.
It got very frustrating very fast.
So it's just it's a really smooth game in terms of like I wanted to play it, so I sat down for 4 hours and then I have played it. It's the it is the fast food of video games in that way.
It kind of feels like just hearing like DS CSI, it feels like something that could be like just streamlined and not that annoying with like touchscreen stuff.
That is totally what it is.
It feels like it maybe could be the best CSI game.
I'll tell you this, it was more enjoyable for me to play through this DS game than it was to watch you on a Discord window play through the other games.
That's high praise.
Yeah. So the way it works is like every time you're at a crime scene or an apartment you need to investigate or wherever you want to look around for the clues, you just drag the stylus over the touchscreen, and if your stylus cursor turns orange, that means you're on top of something that you could look at. You tap it, and then it'll give you like 3 options of what you want to do with the thing that you're looking at. And the 3 options, one of them is always right, and then the other 2 are incorrect. And that's that's like this version of like, there's blood on a knife. What do you do? Like, do I use the swab? No, it's dried, you idiot. That's kind of the DS game's interpretation of that very fun puzzle from the main games. And I think it does a really good job most of the time with having 1 obvious tool and 2 dumb tools. Sometimes it doesn't exactly thread that needle.
Right.
And it'll be like, there's a phone on the ground. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to touch it directly because maybe there's fingerprints on it. So I'll pick it up with tweezers. And the game's like, you could pick a phone up with tweezers, I guess. But isn't there a better way to do it? So I click the hand object. I just pick it up. And it told me I was wrong about that. And unfortunately, and this really drags the game down, I think. At the end of each case, you were rated in 3 ways. And one of them is your accuracy with picking the right tool to pick up a piece of evidence.
Right.
So, like, if you try to pick up a phone with tweezers, which is a good idea, and then the game says no, you go from gold to silver. And that's at least like a grade down. So I learned pretty early in the playthrough of this game that I cannot care about the grades I get unless I want to go completely insane.
Right. None of this. No, thank you. You're basically doing this game a service by even playing it.
Right. I thought so.
You know what's wild, Mitchell?
Hmm.
So you know how I told you I was looking up screenshots of this game?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice until right now that every single screenshot they showed me was for a different game.
Oh, which game?
It was for a different DS game. It was CSI. Let me find it again.
The other two are
CSI
Dark Motives?
Dark Motives. Yeah,
Right.
It was bringing up screenshots for Dark Motives instead of Deadly Intent. So now I'm seeing what you mean.
Okay. What is it similar?
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
Yeah, Dark Motives is the remake of another CSI game, one that Telltale did not make.
Yeah. That one's a little more just here's like pre-rendered pictures of the 3D models and environments for you.
Okay, great. I'm glad that now I'm glad you didn't think that's what I was saying.
Yeah, at first I was like, maybe Mitchell just described it wrong, but no, I found I found the actual, but that's wild.
Yeah, Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases is a strange-looking video game.
Yeah.
And every case, it starts with like there's never fluid animation. It's always like a kind of a slideshow thing.
Understandable.
Yeah, for the budget they have, that's fine. But it always starts with like a slideshow of the murder in question happening.
Right.
Or at least the inciting accident to find out that someone has been murdered. And it reminded me of just all the DS games of this sort of ilk, like Ace Attorney and Elite Beat Agents and Hotel Dusk a little bit. It feels a lot like that. I think that's maybe where the developers at Other Ocean were thinking in terms of like, okay, well, Ace Attorney is a law thing on the DS. Let's pivot toward that. Rather than trying to capture the vibes of the show, because you could tell with the games that we played, Dustin, that they were definitely trying to capture the vibes of the show, which is probably why we didn't like it as much. Mm-hmm. Because we're not going to watch shows like that typically on our off time. This DS game is aware of the show. The characters are all from the show. There's Brass, and Nick Stokes is back for a case. Catherine's around. Langston. You remember these guys, maybe? The morgue guy, Dr. Robbins. Jim Brass.
Those two I know.
Langston is the Lawrence Fishburne character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know Langston for sure. Catherine is I think you would know, although she doesn't have much of a personality in the games we played. She was the woman who's seemingly in charge of some stuff and talks to you sometimes.
Yeah. It's ringing a bell.
Nick Stokes was in all 4 games, and we will forget about him.
Awesome.
Like the game is aware of the show in what kind of tone it goes for, but it does feel much more interested in just being a very light and flaky DS game that you go through and you just go through it.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. So Dustin, let me tell you about Case 1, if you will.
Tell me about Case 1, please.
It's called Don't Try This at Home, and based on that name, what do you expect this case might be about?
Trying things at home. Did maybe someone sees something on the TV and they die from doing it.
Interesting. Not even close. So this is this is a murder that takes place on a movie set, And director Thomas Goyer's movie Diamond Devils has an exploding stunt car that goes off, and it's not supposed to explode.
That wasn't part of the show.
That wasn't part of the stunt. So the star of the movie, Colby Price, he like pulls the handle of the stunt car door. The car completely explodes, and an unrelated person who like worked as an extra on the movie, William Zander, they call him Billy Zander, he dies in this explosion.
So not the person who actually opened the car?
Right. And it took me a few minutes of listening to them talking game until I realized, oh, that's not the guy who died? Because then we have an interview with the star, Colby Price. And I'm like, wait, wasn't the whole thing you died? And I didn't get that at first.
Yeah, I lived, I guess. Someone else died.
So, without me telling you anything that happened, you want to guess what happened? Like, why did any of this occur?
Did someone sabotage the car?
Definitely.
Was it the guy? Was it the
No.
star? Okay.
Well, Dustin,
what happened?
Through a process of interviewing the pyrotechnics officer on the movie, whose name was Katya Ozapov.
We know a Katya.
We know a Katya?
Yeah, in Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah, sure. There's another person named Katya. This is a different one.
That's just not a name you hear very often.
So she's suspect number one because, hey, she works with the explosives and the pyrotechnics, and we found the detonator for the bomb that went off, and there were a bunch of fingerprints on him, and sure enough, hers were among them. So we're suspecting her first, and she was like, listen, man, why would I use my own bomb to bomb someone when you're all going to think it was me, like, right away? This doesn't make any sense. And we have to say, yep, you're right. This is CSI. It cannot be the obvious person. So it's not you.
It has to be the big twist.
Yeah, as you go through the episode, the blame starts to shift onto Colby Price. And you really think it's him because they found the victim's blood in his trailer, and all of this stuff that was clearly incriminating him was in his trailer. And
they found a note that says, I did it.
Well, they did find a note that specifically told the CSI guys that the victim, William Zander, was stealing things from Colby Price because Colby Price is a famous movie star, and selling them online as like memorabilia of celebrity memorabilia or whatever. And there was a letter from Colby Price that was basically saying, I wish this guy would stop stealing my stuff. And then he blows up. When Colby Price opens the car door, seems like it was him.
Kind of suspicious. He didn't want him stealing the stuff.
Yeah, it's a really shitty thing to do. And it was at this point that I was reminded of one of our favorite CSI tropes, which is that the victim has to be just the shittiest jerk, just treated despicably by the narrative, right?
You can't feel bad for them.
You can't feel bad for them or the person who actually did it because they're going to jail, or anyone else in the story because you're supposed to be able to suspect them of having done it.
Right, everyone
so
has
everyone
to be
sucks. Everyone is the worst.
Yeah, what a likable world.
It's just our world. It's not even...
It's a commentary.
So it turns out that the director, Thomas Goyer, was actually giving William Zander, the victim, all of these extra roles and responsibility on the movie set that normally an extra wouldn't have because he wants to have a shot at Hollywood. Right. And it's because secretly they were dating, but people can't know about this because the director has a wife and he's not out as a gay man, so he doesn't want to he doesn't want this to be well-known information. So the CSI cut a deal with him. Is like, yeah, okay, we won't tell everyone you're dating and gay and stuff, but we have to know if you're a murderer.
Yeah,
So
that one's important.
Did you kill him in order to hide that evidence? So that's the third person you're suspecting, and of course also not correct. It turns out that the real killer is Sarah Lee Strong, someone that I have not mentioned yet because she is not important to the beginning part of this case.
Okay, cool.
She's the writer of the movie they're filming, and she was upset that Billy Zander, who's just an extra and is sleeping with the director, got rewrite credits. He got like rewrite lines, and when she was crying about it, Xander walked past her and didn't even say hi or didn't even notice she was there. And she was like, this is the last straw. I'm going to kill this guy. And did. And that's why she planted or she killed that guy in cold blood and then stored him in the trunk of the stunt car. So when the stunt car exploded, it looked like he died in the blast, but he actually died hours earlier.
Oh, okay. That's kind of clever, at least. I can give her that.
It was hard to figure out, but still took me less than an hour on a Nintendo DS. So I'll say that she didn't hide her tracks that well.
Did she... Like, at what point in the story did she come up? Like, it wasn't a thing where they just throw in this new character at the end, was it?
It was over halfway through the case. But...
Okay.
I mean, it's not unearned in the sense of, like, the evidence doesn't actually point to her. It does. But you just don't have her in the story for a long time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's case one. Don't try this at home. I think you could have imagined that being in the Telltale game.
Yeah. Honestly, it sounds solid enough.
Sure. I think it is
like,
solid enough.
Not that interesting, but yeah.
So while you're going through these cases, you're picking up evidence, and what I actually really love about this is how they streamlined the lab in the DS game.
Ooh.
Now, there's two big problems with the Telltale games that we played. And when I say problems, I just mean part of the game we didn't like, which is we didn't like picking up evidence because it was always like, you did the swab and not the luminol? Are you new here? Are you dense?
Are you stupid?
And then the other thing is, once you bring it back to the lab, it's always a very painful mini game where you need to either just match objects or
match
what
the
are some
colors?
Like some things are blue, right? That's just
put the blues together.
The mini game is kind of condensed to the idea some things are blue. There was like a weird frequency one with audio files that we played that I remember really sucked.
Yeah.
And anytime you matched DNA, it was a whole thing.
This is a whole thing.
There aren't any mini games in this that are from the original games. They're all new mini games.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of great ones. There's the classic, like, something has been shattered, so we need to jigsaw puzzle it back together. There's that.
Classic DS bottom screen mini game.
There's a crazy one for DNA in particular where the top screen is like the control strand of DNA, and the bottom screen is the DNA that you found. And it's like a 10 by 20 grid of little DNA squares that have a letter and a number. And you need to look through the two grids on each screen of the DS and tap the ones on the bottom screen that are different than the ones on the top screen. And there's only like 5 different ones. So it really is needle in a haystack searching.
Right.
And then there's another one where it shows you molecules that are set up like little balls with other smaller colored balls on them. And you need to, out of a collection of balls that you have on the side, like bring them over to the balls that match in the picture. Classic CSI stuff. Classic stuff. I will say, I got through them all a lot faster than we got through the mini games in the console version. I think that just having a touch screen to do that stuff is a huge advantage.
Yeah, it sounds like you did them pretty well.
Well,
You might be cut out for CSI.
I processed all the evidence, and then at the end of the case, it's like bronze on evidence. I'm like, just because I didn't do it fast enough? Why do you want that?
Oh man.
Let me take 2 minutes instead of 1 minute. Why do you care?
Yeah, sorry, you didn't take your time. You should have done a better job of evidence.
Yeah, and then Catherine is the one who reads out your like grades to you. And if you get a silver or bronze on evidence processing, she's like, you did a good job processing, but I bet you could do it faster. I'm like, I don't want to.
That's not part of the job. Do you want it done fast or do you want it done right?
It doesn't seem to me like it would benefit me in any way to do it faster. So I won't.
If anything, it would hold you back. You'd probably be making mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, there's times where I'll look at a boot at a crime scene and I'm thinking, I'll use the swab on it. Maybe there's something sticky or goopy on the boot. And then the game will tell me, the boot's dry, but maybe there's blood. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, so it was luminol. I didn't know. I didn't know which one. Why would you rank me lower for finding out that it's dry, you know?
Well, at least they got that part right. Like, that converted over to the DS pretty well. Just not having the right tools. It's
not a problem actually playing through it, because if I try to swab it and it's like, it's dry, I'm like, okay, new information. Now I know it's dry. But at the end of the case, if they try to grade me on that, it was fine that I tried and found out it was dry. That was good of me. Yeah. Why would you grade me?
Sorry, you should have known it was dry.
So case 2, it's called Glass Jaw, and there's no reason for this to be called Glass Jaw.
Cool. I was going to say, is it like a boxer or something? But I guess not.
It's absolutely not about... Good guess. The glass part is because it involves a big glass sculpture. The jaw part is not related.
Well, they were halfway there, at least.
So it's the opening of the Glassworks Casino, because these games are set in Las Vegas, if you didn't remember. And the Glassworks Casino has this big glass statue with a like conquistador type of guy with a sword in his hand, and he's pointing the sword up to the sky. That's like the glass statue that they have. And in the opening or illustrated slideshow thing, it's the owner of the casino looking through his bills on the cell phone, getting prepped because he's all busy about the opening of the casino. He's not looking where he's walking, and then he realizes, oh, I'm stepping in blood. And then he looks up and he sees that there's a guy completely impaled on the sword part of the glass statue. Like,
and that's not normally part of the statue.
Not normally part of the statue. Not an intended water feature, the blood that's going everywhere from it. So, big mystery here. How'd that guy even get up there? It's so high up.
Yeah, he must have really had to climb for a while.
Yeah, so the victim here is Elliot Fine, and they find out that Elliot Fine is like this world-renowned genius architect kind of guy. And the owner of the casino loved working with Fine because Fine was a little bit of a prima donna, high drama, artsy type, but he makes the best art, and the casino looks beautiful because of Elliot Fine, and all the glass features are from him. So it's good. Why would anyone kill him? So Dustin, I ask you, having no information, why did anyone kill Elliot Fine?
Was he a dickhead? Did it turn out he was like shitty?
Yeah.
Cool. What a surprise.
Yeah. So Rocco Brindle, in addition to being a fantastic made-up video game name.
Rocco Brindle.
Rocco Brindle. He's the owner of the casino. He tells you, I don't know why Elliot Fine... I don't know why anyone would have a problem with him. The two names that he gives you to follow up with are Jesse Horsher who is the interior decorator that worked with Elliot Fine.
He really horses around.
She really horses around,
Oh.
and that's on you for an assumption, mate.
That's true.
And Chandler Saunders, who is Elliot Fine's assistant at Fine's architectural firm or whatever, who famously blew up at Elliot Fine on national TV and got in a fight with him.
Right, that's not a good look when he's dead.
Not a good look when he's dead. And I'll skip to the end. He did do it. He did kill him. Okay,
see, that one's weird because that's a case where it's like, well, obviously it's not going to be the one you expect. It has to be a big twist. No, it is. It just is.
Well, based on that information, it probably is. But once you talk to Chandler for the first time, Chandler's immediately like swamped. He's answering all the calls. He's basically the only person that works at the architecture firm. And he's like, yeah, Elliot Fine actually took a lot of chances on me. He let me design the Glassworks casino, which is something I wanted, and I don't like interfacing with the press, so it's actually fine that Fine takes the kudos for that. I don't want to do that. You should talk to Jessie Horsher because she's the jealous one. She has been sleeping with Elliot Fine, and maybe there's some bad blood between them and their relationship. And so what you find out is that Elliot was gonna break up with Jessie Horsher. She found out and got really upset, and that is unrelated to the murder.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So Chandler Saunders is just the actual genius architect. Elliot Fine is a complete imposter. That's what we find out.
Of course. He can't just be a good, nice guy.
Right. Everything that he's really well known for is something that he took the credit for, that Chandler did. And for a long time, that was actually the relationship they wanted. But Chandler started getting jealous, and Elliot Fine was doing like an interview on TV one time, and he made like a passing sort of slight insult to Chandler of like, well, these guys don't know what they're doing, so I have to keep them in line. And then Chandler said, and then he got really mad at him on national TV, and it was embarrassing for everyone. But even that, Elliot was kind of keeping him around, and it was fine. Right. But something snapped in the in the recent days prior to the opening of the Glassworks casino, and Chandler couldn't handle it anymore. Chandler was not a handler, we say.
We do say that a lot.
So he was on the floor above that glass statue with the sword, stabbed him, he bled out, and then Chandler left, not knowing that Elliot was going to die from it. It was just like a stab in the moment, a little nick, really. But that nick led to a loss of blood, and that loss of blood led to Elliot Fine sort of having a woozy headspace, and then stumbling out of the balcony above the glass sword, and then just impaled himself on the glass sword.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah, it seems unlikely. It seems very convenient for telling a story, but that's how it goes. That's case 2, Glass Jaw.
I'm glad the glass played into it at least.
Yeah, the jaw really wasn't part of it.
I'm sitting here jawless.
There's nothing to do with mouths in the whole thing.
They could have stabbed him like through the mouth.
Yeah. Dustin, case 3 is boys with toys.
Oh, you know how those boys are with their toys.
I will ask you again to make a guess on what this is about, and I'll tell you, this is so far the most appropriate name for a case in the game.
Did a boy have a toy that he killed with?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, indeed. Any more specific you want to get with that?
No, I think.
Here's the blurb. The game gives little blurbs for each case that are not supposed to give away spoilers, but I thought This time they were a little on the nose with the blurb for the case.
Right. Just a little synopsis for what you're about to play.
Yeah, and the blurb this time was, someone brought a real gun to an airsoft match. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I think I know what happened. And sure enough,
let's see where this goes.
That is the general idea of this episode. There was the victim, Folger McCullough, or Micolo.
This game's good with names.
His first name's Folger, and he's an accountant, with Hogan, Price, and McCullough, and they play airsoft in a warehouse every week. That's like their thing to blow off steam.
Uh-huh.
And they shoot through the game, and then the timer goes off, and everyone gets up after pretending to be shot dead on the ground because they really get into the role-playing of it. And they're like, good game, everyone, and everyone's clapping, and then one guy is still on the ground, and they're like, okay, get up. But then he bleeds out, and they realize he's dead, and he was shot for real. Yeah. So how'd this one come to be, Dustin?
I'm guessing someone on the team did not like him.
So
do you think it's because he was an asshole?
He was an asshole. Don't worry about that. But no, that is not exactly what happened. It was not someone on the team that shot him. Well, they shot him with BBs, but not for real. Before I talk about what happens in this case, there's just a great there's a great bit where you and Brass are the first two people to show up to the crime scene, and the game tells you that your full birth name is saying, "Hey Jim," and it's just surreal. It's just surreal to see that ascribed to Mitchell Wolfe. He just knows Jim on a first name basis.
You do. I think we're familiar enough with Jim Brass that we can call him Jim.
It's one-sided though. It's one of those parasocial relationships. He doesn't know me, but I know him very well.
Right. He does not consider you a friend.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of people you talk to throughout the story of this case, and more than any other case in the game, this is the one that keeps going like, okay, well, my first suspect is the airsoft player, and that guy he doesn't even have a name or like character illustration, so it's not him.
It can't be him.
But then
he doesn't have any assets.
Pretty immediately after that, you're led to interview the security guard for the warehouse, who should have been, the guy who's in charge of stuff like this. His name is Brian Foster, and in the conversation with Brian Foster, all of the CSI characters get so weird and judgy about airsoft. It's like they're just like making fun of these role-playing army nerds, and they're bringing out so much vitriol of like, I guess that's a way to spend an afternoon. Of like, I can't believe you'd pretend like this. Like, it's like,
what do you do then?
Indecent thing to do airsoft.
Yeah, it sounds like they're not hurting anybody. I mean, except for the one guy.
Yeah, one guy did die. But yeah, they're just it's a sport, and they're like, I can't believe they're so in their little fantasy world. They want to pretend kill people.
So in their little fantasy world, how condescending can you get?
Yeah, there was in the
look at this subhuman.
Yeah, they're just pretending. They're in the lead up to the case where they're going through the PowerPoint of the guy getting shot. There's like a guy coming around the corner, and he does like the little 2-finger hand signal to wave his buddy through. It's like saying it's fine, and he does a roll between the two like pieces of cover. And I watched that, and I thought, wow, that's fun. Maybe airsoft is fun. I've never done it. Maybe that'd be something to get into. And then Jim Brass kept being like, oh yeah, they're really pretending they're Tinker Tailor soldier spies out here. These nerds.
Look at this little 2-year-old playing pretend.
Yeah, I guess these adults are a little less adult than we thought. Like, it's such a...
Like, come on, man.
They're
What did
coming
they do
down
to you?
so condescending on just the idea of airsoft. And I've never felt any way about airsoft in my life.
Yeah, like, it's probably not something for me. Like, I don't think I would enjoy it, but I don't know. I wouldn't be like, look at these absolute fools. Look.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not like a sports guy, but that would be the only reason. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you grow up in a country that, for better or for much better, doesn't have nearly as many guns as we have in the United States. You might have more repulsion to airsoft, but like, I don't know, man. It seems fine to me. Yeah.
It's just people having fun.
I couldn't have even guessed that the game would feel a way about it.
It really has an agenda it's pushing.
So Brian Foster's the security guard, and he's like, yeah, they come here to play airsoft every week. And Brass is like, every week? And Brian Foster's like, yeah, they come here every week.
I'm just imagining all of your CSI guys like fucking cracking up every week, and it's like a 2-minute scene of them just all like huge belly laughs.
So he seems like he's on the up and up, and he doesn't even know the guy who got killed. But of course, he does actually know the guy who got killed, and he's lying to you, as is tradition. And he knows Foster McCullough really well, actually. So it's a big lie. And he was trying to not have to live on a security guard paycheck every week for the rest of his life, because I guess he doesn't get paid very much. And
fair enough.
Yeah, sure. And these accountants get paid a lot. So he was thinking, like, maybe I can get in with them and they can give me some investment tips. Maybe they know a good stock, something like that. So he kept talking with Folger McCullough. Folger said to the security guard, now, what I really want's a real gun. And this is the guy who died. So, he didn't do it.
Right.
But the security guard's like, yeah, maybe I know a guy. And he introduces us to Terry Hardeen. Terry Hardeen is the gun guy.
Terry Hardeen.
Yeah. He's the gun guy about town. And he's the one that you can buy a gun from if you don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of getting registered and everything.
Right.
So Folger...
If you want a gun nice and easy.
Now, the thing with Terry Hardeen is that you can get a gun from him. He's happy to sell it to you, but he's maybe bad news. He's maybe deep within some certain circles that you don't want to...
A little sketchy.
Yeah, you don't want to find out too much about, if you catch my drift. So when he shows up to the warehouse, he fires a few practice rounds into a crate nearby, and Folger is all of a sudden scared. So he's like, actually, I don't want to buy it. I'm sorry, I don't want to buy it. And
I was just kidding.
Terry already drove down here, so he's not happy about that. So they get in a big fight, and you are you are poised at this point in the game to assume, okay, Terry was upset that Folger didn't buy the gun, so maybe he's swapped an airsoft gun with the real gun, and that's why Folger was shot to death, because Terry was upset that he couldn't get money from him. Not what happened.
Oh.
Not
what happened?
Not even close. So there's this other character entirely named Lydia Gray. Lydia Gray is Folger's girlfriend. And Folger, very similar to the last case, had written a letter saying, I don't want to be with you anymore, to Lydia Gray. We find it as a sealed envelope, so we assume Lydia hasn't read it yet. And she pretends like she hasn't read it yet. But in the lab, you find the DNA of who sealed the envelope, and it's not Folger, it's Lydia Gray. So she resealed it. Whoa.
Wow.
So she already knew that he was breaking up with her, and she was devastated about it. So what she did was she seduced Terry Hardeen days prior to any of this.
Right.
Stole a gun from him. Used that gun to shoot Folger during the airsoft game, everyone thought that the shots were just from airsoft guns because there were a lot of shots during the game.
Right.
And when he was laying down on the ground, that's when she made her exit. Because in addition to the fact that she was scorned that he was going to break up with her, she was also worried that Folger was going to snitch on his clients because he's like a really honest guy, and he's an accountant with some like people who've maybe done some gray legal things with their money. And Lydia's like, you're going to throw away everything you've worked for if you throw all these people under the bus. And Folger's like, nah, I'm too honest about it. I'm going to throw them all under the bus. Don't even worry about me.
It's going to be fine.
She was like, okay, well, I'm mad at you for this, and also you want to break up with me, so it's all kind of contributing to me wanting to kill you right now. So she kills him.
This is all really contributing to how I'm feeling.
That's that case. And what I think bumped me up from being like, this is kind of more just boring CSI, to, okay, I'm kind of really glad I played this, actually, is case 4, the fourth and final case of this game.
Okay, so it ends on a high note.
It ends on a high note, I would say, yeah. It's called Of Cases Past, and I think you can tell from the title, we're sort of doing a culmination episode of the other 3 cases that we played.
We had that before with the other games, right?
Yes, although it was fairly inconsistent. I don't think 3 Dimensions of Murder did it, but maybe the other 3 did. And sometimes they didn't bring all 4 of the other cases together, just like 3 of them. And how they come together was sometimes unbelievable. But in these 3 cases we went through, we had a murder perpetrator who was acting out of rage and not in their like right head in the moment. Lydia Gray and Chandler Saunders and Sarah Lee Strong all killed the people they killed because they were just really upset at something that should feel weird to be that upset about.
Yeah.
Like, they were being slighted in the moment. Emotions were high. They shouldn't have been that high, but they were high. So it turns out those 3 people have a connection. Those 3 murderers. And you're about to find out what it is from Lydia Gray, but she dies in police custody.
Oh my God.
The murderer from the last case is now the murder victim. And
wild. All the twists and turns.
They found out that the cause of death was a delayed reaction poison from thallium poisoning. This is something that you can give someone and then they can have like a fine rest of most of their day and then suddenly die, which I don't know if that's how thallium poisoning works in real life, but if it does, I feel like we should have heard about it in many more cases because that seems really convenient.
Yeah, it seems like something that would help you get away with a lot more.
A lot of poisoning could be done with thallium. Yeah.
Someone's on a poisoning spree.
So you look into it more, trying to put together how she could have got the thallium in her system.
Right.
And you find out that she was a patient of something called the New Living Treatment Facility. And they use thallium sulfate in their treatment of anger issues.
Okay.
You also find out that she was a special interest patient of the Dr. Sebastian Blau, who's studying willpower. Okay. And also, Dr. Blau had two other special interest patients, Sarah Lee Strong and Chandler Saunders. So all 3 of these people who defaulted on anger issues were patients of the same doctor. And the long and the short of this case, Dustin, is that the doctor gave Lydia Gray that extra thallium because thallium is something they normally work with, but it's normally worked with in presence of Prussian blue, which is like a They say it's an antidote for thallium poisoning.
Okay.
But he gave it to her this time before he gave her the Prussian blue in order to kill her on purpose.
See, that's where she went wrong.
Well, that's where he went wrong too, because if he didn't kill Lydia Gray, he would have gotten away with everything.
Right, yeah.
He's a serial killer that uses other people to kill. This is his deal. So he saw
that's kind of fun.
Yeah. He saw Sarah Lee Strong have like little issues with the extra on the movie set that like she was annoyed about it, rightfully so, but she wasn't going to do anything. And then over the course of his a combination of hypnotism and using isolation pods filled with thallium salts, his work toward uninhibiting, what I don't know what you would call this, uninhibiting willpower in anger issues just makes them so much more susceptible to murder and to do anything they want to do. So Sarah Lee Strong killed that guy.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, like, okay, Sarah Lee Strong, Chandler Saunders, a guy who was okay with his architectural plans being used for someone else's fame. He was totally fine with it until he started these treatments with Dr. Blau, and now he's angry about it.
Right. All of a sudden, not so cool.
Yeah. So both of them would not have done the murder without Dr. Blau. Does the game say that we gave them a plea deal or something to recognize this? No.
That's for the court. That's not CSI's department.
No, but it would make me feel a lot better. Like, hey, man, you realized that these people were taken advantage of. They were not in their right mind because of this evil doctor who is venturing pretty close to fantasy and not even sci-fi anymore of what he can do with your brain. Are we not letting them off the hook a little bit? Because they have like life in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't say that.
Nah, don't worry about it.
So Langston at one point in this game brings up the idea that serial killers always get caught when they deviate from the plan, because their plan up to that point has kept them very protected from legal scrutiny and investigation, and they would never even have been considered a culprit until they do something a little bit different, and then that's how they get caught. This is like a common thing for serial killers as says this game, I guess.
Yeah, it's specifically in terms of this world and this story.
Yeah, might be real. I don't know. But
maybe.
That ends up being true for Dr. Blau because he uses Lydia Gray to kill Folger McCullough, not because he just wants to see him die like all of his other patients, or all he wants to, not because he wants to see Lydia murder like he wants all his other patients to do, just because Folger McCullough is his accountant, and he'll be found out for taking a special isolation pod, which is like thousands of dollars, and medications and stuff from the main organization he's working with and bringing them to his own private lab.
Right.
So Folger, being his accountant, is potentially going to tell on him. And he finds out that he will get told on. So he has Lydia Gray kill her. And it's because it's a practical death that needs all of these other deaths to cover it up. That's how he gets caught. And that's why we know about it, because now we have to investigate the death of Lydia Gray, which can't be pointed at anyone else other than Dr. Sebastian Blau.
Right. Wow, that is kind of a good story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected to get that from the DS spin-off CSI game.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Dr. Blau says, "I'm upset that you're getting me," and then it's a stark cut to credits at a crisp 3 hours and one half. The game is over.
We got to get out of here. It's lunchtime.
So Dustin, that was my time playing through the DS game CSI Deadly Intent: The Hidden Cases.
Well, I don't know about you, Mitchell, but I had a great time with this game.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought a little bit about playing CSI Unsolved as well. Unsolved, unlike Hidden Cases, is not trying to say it's part of a bigger Telltale game, but it was a supplemental game to Fatal Conspiracy instead of Deadly Intent. So
right. I mean, even if it doesn't have the same name, it sounds like it's like more or less still.
It's basically the same relationship to a Telltale game that this game had, except this game is called that and that game is not. But I'm using that to be the delineating boundary of what we have to cover for the show. So one day, if we ever have to come back to the show after a long time,
heaven forbid,
maybe CSI Unsolved is there for us. But
maybe
if we don't have to do that, I think this is a pretty good place to call it with our CSI experience.
I think so too. I think you picked a good spot. I'm glad you had to do it and I didn't. But I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad. It sounds like a game I would not have had that bad a time with.
Well, yeah, but how could I have known that, right? Like, based on
you
any
knew
of the
I was
other
already
times we played a CSI video game.
Right, the precedent was not there for me enjoying one.
Yeah, I'll say that as a played experience, this was the smoothest, easiest time I had with it. The touch screen made it actually fun in certain times to look through the crime scenes and stuff.
Right, but I assume it's still not a game you care like a whole ton about.
I would say the cases of hard evidence are still, out of the 5 CSI games I'm aware of now, still the most interesting and fun to follow. So I think I value that more a little bit than just how easy this one is to play in comparison to that. So I will say that Hard Evidence is still my favorite CSI game, but this is probably number 2 of the 5 of them.
But you wouldn't say this is like a bad time.
No, and I think it is. It doesn't feel as boring as it could just because it's so quick. It doesn't spend more than an hour with any case. So I don't feel like it's wasting my time ever. By the time I'm starting to figure out the case, it is wrapping up.
Yeah, I mean, if you were just playing one of the other CSI games, you'd be like maybe halfway into case 2 at that point.
Yeah. Well, also with the other CSI games, there was this time with every case where we were like, okay, now we know who did it. We just need to find out how to present the evidence to the game to convince the game that we know who did it.
Right.
And this game's pacing is a lot faster than that, probably just because the cases are a lot more simplistic. There's fewer characters to think about in every case. Mm-hmm. But
it still sounds like I know who did it,
it's over.
Yeah, and it still sounds like for as simplistic as they are, you can get like a story out of it still. Like that last case sounds pretty bonkers.
Yeah, I think that's the influence of Ace Attorney, because before Ace Attorney, stories in that kind of visual novel presentation on a handheld device did not have an especially high expectation. And then after, on the DS especially, there's some great visual novels. So it feels like they're inspired by that in a way that the CSI games on console, and we did mention this earlier, are only really inspired by the show. And that's about where it's from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, didn't have a bad time with it. The other...
I'm glad.
CSI game I mentioned, Unsolved, is also by Other Ocean as well. So it really feels like the second part of this, but we'll save it. We don't have to play
We'll see.
Yeah.
Do you have any segments? Or did you not do segments for it?
Well, I didn't do them, but I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah, my weekly guy is definitely Dr. Sebastian Blau. He carries himself like a mad scientist version of House, like like the show Housed.
Right.
And that's a fun version of that character for
He's
an
like
arc villain type.
Yeah, it sounds like he's like the closest thing to a supervillain in CSI.
Yeah, because he's the only time you know it was him before you're able to prove it. And he makes fun of you for it because it's you and a few other CSI people interviewing him. And he's like, Mitchell Wolf, you look like you've got a head on your shoulders, but let me tell you this. You're out of your league. And then he just walks out and they're like, damn, he's right. We don't have the evidence. And it's fun.
He was right about that, about the evidence part.
Yeah. The golden moment is probably when it turned out, when it revealed Sarah Lee Strong as the killer of William Xander in the first case. I don't know why that worked. I can't explain to you why that was a golden moment, but it just felt good. It felt like I was seeing the story unfold in a correct way.
That's all you need sometimes. Just something where you're like, you know what? That wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Choice cut, there were no choices, so that's it. The two segments.
What was the other one we had? Do we have like items like inventory?
Okay.
Item of the week or something?
Like
I don't remember what the segment was called.
Potent Pickups.
Potent Pickups, that's it. Oh, what a nostalgic name.
It's been so long. I guess in this game it would be pieces of evidence I collect. So was there any good piece of evidence?
You know what I think you could say was your potent pickup? The stylus for the DS.
I think I'm looking through my notes. If I don't find a better one, it was the stylus.
Probably the most useful.
Yeah, it was the stylus.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the stylus. From the sounds of it, it sounds like there was no semen in this game whatsoever.
There was something you thought was going to be semen, and they even comment on it, and then it's like a twist that it turns out to be tears because someone was crying.
Oh, well, good, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, not semen?
I'm not used to this world. What a world we live in.
And then sometimes we did linguistic gymnastics. I'm trying to see if I... You know what? Hey, Jim. Credited to Mitchell Wolf is got to be the best line in the game.
Yeah, you know what? You brought it with that line.
So those are our segments. Dustin, what are we playing next week?
You know what? This time I can actually tell you what we're playing next week.
Okay, great. Because the audience doesn't know yet. This is a surprise, I guess.
We are doing Escape from Monkey Island. Finally, we've built it up before. We kind of talked about it here and there, but we're finally doing it. Neither of us have played this, right, Mitchell?
Right. Yeah. No, it's the only Monkey Island game I've not played. I think that's true for you too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, as you can tell, based on what it is, and also maybe based on what this episode was, we really are pretty much done with Telltale. We did all of the stuff, so
it's one of the bonus ones.
Yeah, this is our very last episode. The Escape from Monkey Island one will be. I mean, for a long time, I imagine, until Ad Hoc or Telltale or whoever else put out something new. We've always said we are definitely going to come back for Wolf Among Us 2. That's going to happen for sure. But if not that, I don't know when we're going to come back other than that.
I don't know if the Wolf Among Us 2 is the for sure part. We'll for sure come back if it happens.
Right. Yeah. But until then, I feel pretty confident, especially now that we've talked about CSI Deadly Intent, The Hidden Cases, that we've done the job. So we're rounding out the Monkey Island games, which have a history with Telltale, although I would not say it's a Telltale series.
Right. This one's just a bonus since we haven't done them.
Yeah, we did often. It's like multiple episodes we've brought it up. Talk about one day doing Escape from Monkey Island on the podcast, just because we did Tales and we also did
Return.
Right, thank you. And we also did was the Sea of Thieves one?
Legend of Monkey Island.
Legend, yeah. We did those three, and there's also a Monkey Island game we hadn't played, so it just seemed right to do. So that will be our last episode for the foreseeable future. And I hope you're excited for that. Until next week when we talk about that, I'm Mitchell Wolf.
And I'm the other guy.
Hey, Jim. I hope you have a great summer.
Hey, I hope you have a great summer, Mitchell Wolf.